And now Gary's going to give us some music. It's Eulogy for Doug. And then there's a 15-minute interval.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for coming today to see Doug off. And thanks to Jackie and the other ladies for putting on such a good spread. Those little sausages and pastry are a real treat. I think Jono must have had 20 of them. It's another absolute stinker out there today, isn't it? When are we going to get some bloody rain? Tom, take off the jacket before you fall over. I'm sure Doug would have appreciated the thought, mate, but you know he wasn't much for dressing up. He wore the arse out of every pair of jeans that he ever owned. Anyway, I just want to say a few words about my brother. That's Jane's instruction before I got up here. Keep it short. She's right. I was always the talker in the family. Doug was the quiet one, like the old man. The pair of them could sit on the veranda for hours and not say a word. Drove me mad as a kid, but it was just the way they were. They had plenty of stories. They just didn't tell them. I remember watching combat on TV once and asking Pop what he did in the war. He just shrugged it off, like it wasn't worth talking about. The only story I ever heard came from his brother, about the time they found a wine cellar in an abandoned house and knocked off 10 bottles of red before a German patrol turned up. He reckoned the old man shot 10 of them before he ran out of bullets, and he did in a couple more with his bayonet. When I asked Pop if it was true, all he said was, the Nazis should have known better than to interrupt a man when he's having a drink. Then he went outside to pick a chicken for dinner. Doug was the same. Hardly said anything at all about Vietnam. Though I remember him telling me about this sniper who hid in the jungle at the end of the runway, and used to take pot shots at all the planes as they took off. He missed every time. So the word went out that no one was to kill him in case the VC sent a replacement who could shoot straight. There was 10 years between us, so I was just a kid when he left. But I have memories of him in his uniform and feeling disappointed I couldn't go as well. I had visions of glory, but now I'm older, I don't think there was much glory in it. I know when Doug came back, he was a different bloke. Sure, he looked the same to most of you, but we could see it. He wouldn't go shooting anymore. And when he was in here, he'd drink by himself in that booth over there. If you had a conversation with him, you did all the talking. It was bloody hard work. A lot of the boys were treated like shit when they got home, but Doug didn't see much of that. People around here treated him like a hero. Never let him pay for a beer on Anzac Day. He never turned one down, did he? Still, we could tell he was carrying something. Back on the farm, there'd be days when he'd wander off for hours, and you'd ask him where he'd been, he'd just say, nowhere, in a vague sort of way. I always thought that nowhere was really somewhere in his head where the past just kept running over and over again. His second wife, Audrey, once told me that she still loved him, but she couldn't stay because he was unknowable. She'd done a year at uni in the city and used a lot of words like that, but it's as good a description as any for Doug and all the others who came back. We don't really know them, do we? Still, for all that, I want you to remember that Doug was a good bloke, right to the very end. Even when the Agent Orange cancer was eating him alive and he was in a lot of pain, he could still have a laugh. One of the last things he said to me was, Davey, There's a prayer we used to say over there, and I want you to say it at my funeral. I promised him I would. So here it is, with apologies to the ladies and to Father Brennan. I don't care if it rains or freezes, as long as I'm safe in the arms of Jesus. I am Jesus' little lamb. Too fucking right I am. So here's my brother Doug and all the others who went away but never really came back.